So this movie is about this inescapable demon, yeah, but at its core what it's really about is violating what you think the protagonist might deserve. Here's my take and here's your spoiler warning. When we first meet pop singer Sky Riley, she's preparing to go back on tour after a year's silence because of, we learn, a dark fall into addiction that made her push everyone away and the death of her boyfriend in a car crash. We also see her struggling to overcome something deeper, a creeping guilt that we don't yet understand. And it's within that chaos of mind that the demon climbs into her brain and feeds off of it, relishes the disarray that it finds. And so it haunts Sky, reflecting back to her every insecurity and fear, reminding her how she insulted and pushed away Gemma, her only friend, and it just keeps going. Until we, the audience, finally learn that in addition to hurting every person she's ever loved, she was the one who, a year ago, grabbed the wheel of her boyfriend's car in a fit of rage and accidentally made them crash. And this is where the movie, I think, does something really brilliant and solidifies the kind of horror that it is. Because look, despite Sky's mistakes, it is overwhelmingly clear that she is trying to be better. We see her apologize, we see her call Gemma to set things right, and we see her admit that yes, she hurt people, yes, it was her fault, and yes, she will take responsibility. And she's doing all this to stubbornly hold on to the hope that maybe she isn't too far gone. Maybe she still can set things right, maybe she still is worthy of being loved. And because of how sincere Sky is in this battle, and how we might relate to that battle, we might want to believe in her too. But the movie is just wholly uninterested in paying off that faith, because in the finale, Sky realizes that the demon is making her hurt even more people, and in a beautiful culmination of her arc, she chooses to poison herself to end her and stop the demon to make sure no one else is hurt. Now look, in another movie, she would have woken up from that having won and be wiser, stronger, and finally happy. But in this movie, when Sky opens her eyes, all she sees is the demon smiling back at her, laughing, and telling her she was never really in control. Look, obviously the imagery, the supernaturalness of it all is terrifying, but I think the reason this works so effectively as a horror is because of how well it violates our sense of hope. Everything in Sky's story points to her having earned a way out, having earned the happiness she fought so desperately for, and because of how stories are normally paid off, we are subtly primed in this movie to expect that happy ending. But after all that buildup, this movie just laughs back at us for being so naive. And then it proceeds to literally tear apart the protagonist we've come to place our own faith in, leaving you to walk out of the theater wondering if you're being delusional for holding on to whatever hope is left in your life too. Which is exactly, I think, how a scary movie should make you feel. Thanks for watching. Make sure to find me everywhere else.